Final Assault is a World War II themed RTS game. The main aim on most of the battlefields is to destroy your enemy's base. You do this by sending your units across the map. The game requires 2 move controllers to play, and the menus are laid out very nicely. It's so easy to drag yourself around each of the battlefields and place units, which is something a game like this really had to get right. Troops will spawn automatically every so often from your base, but for tougher units you have to spawn yourself. When you place down the units on a path, it will automatically move along it, until it comes into contact with another enemy. If you want more control over your unit's placement, you can also make them stop on other parts of the environment by simply placing them there. This is very handy for artillery, as they can fire above and over parts of the environment. This allows them to defeat enemies before they even have a chance at firing at some of your units, and this manual placement is also great for troop carriers, as these spawn extra soldiers from their location rather than for main base. Taking in the environment's layout is a main part of RTS games, and here it can certainly be used to your advantage. You even have full control of planes' flight paths. You can either draw a single line for them to follow, or you can actually draw a circle which will keep them in a loop. This is great for defending certain locations. As you would expect, all the units have strengths and weaknesses, so keeping an eye on what your opponent is spawning is a must. Spawning units does cost money though. This replenishes over time, and the tougher units do cost more money. You even have to buy rows of units first before each unit can actually even be bought themselves. This comes with a risk though, as spending money to unlock a row means you won't have enough to spawn units for a while. So timing does play an important role in the game too. To give you a money boost, planes fly over the battlefield every so often and drop a support crate filled with cash. If a unit collides with it, it will be picked up. This creates a race to get to the crate first. Some units move faster than others at the expense of damage per second, so it can be risky to have them, but thanks to the crates, it can also be very beneficial. It's this constant observation of the battlefield which makes it intense and engaging. There is 16 maps to fight on. Some have a little amount of main paths you can take, whilst others have quite a few. Each map does have one thing in common though, and that is that they all look amazing. In the snowy mountains you can see snow laid on trees, and on the countryside map the sun is just rising, which makes shadows more noticeable. The image quality is very sharp here, and although from this view the battlefield can look toy-like, one thing prevents it from fully feeling like you're playing with plastic, and that is the sound design. It really does sound like a real battlefield down there. Planes whiz by with their machine guns on full pelt, and explosions really do pack a punch. The game comes with some single player modes and an online multiplayer mode. You can choose to play as one of 6 playable characters, and each comes with a few special units. In skirmish mode, you move your units across a board. When you place one down on a new space, a battle takes place. Whoever wins the battle will move the defeated unit on the board back to the owner's base. The player that wins a battle on any of the opponent's bases wins. Some battles also have different modifiers that change up the way that you approach each fight, which helps to make each battle feel fresh. In story mode, you can follow each of the 6 characters' story, and the grid-like board makes an appearance again, but the main aim here is to land on green tiles so that you can complete story objectives. You must do this 5 times to complete that character's campaign. Objectives include defending for a certain amount of time, or destroying the enemy's base in a certain amount of time. Both of these single player, grid-based modes do last quite a while. Luckily, your progress is saved after each battle. If you want some quick action, you can also play a quick battle whilst in single player if you want. Online multiplayer, just like the single player, has 2 people trying to destroy the enemy's base, and you can choose from the 6 playable characters. Multiplayer is very fun, and of course feels more intense as you're actually against a real player. You see their avatar before and after each match, which is a nice little touch, as it makes each battle feel a little bit more personal. The game does have crossplay with PC too, and with a game like this, there shouldn't really be an advantage depending on which system you are playing on. Trophy wise, the list is massive. It's certainly reminiscent of a AAA game, as it comes with 51 trophies and does contain a platinum. The most notable ones here are for completing each of the story mode campaigns, winning 50 of the skirmishes, and 50 multiplayer matches. Most of the rest are for destroying a certain amount of unit types. It is a good list for this type of game, although obviously with these high number requirements, it will take a very long time to platinum. This is a very well thought out RTS game. The environments play a role in cover, you can place units anywhere, and timing is a factor when it comes to unlocking the next row of units. All of these elements combine to make it a pretty deep and strategic experience, where the tide of battle can change in only a few units placements. I must admit, it took me a while to get into it, as I found the game pretty hard to begin with, even on the normal difficulty. Out of all the genres of games I play, RTS is on the lower side. However, once I had delved a bit deeper into each location's layout and understood how units worked more whilst playing on Rookie, I could put up a good fight on normal. This tells me that the game has been designed a bit more around pros of the genre in mind, which is very welcomed considering we have mainly had easier RTS game releases on the PSVR in the past. It's easy enough to pick up and play, but it will take some time to master, which is what all RTS games should aim towards. Overall, this is the full package. It has a lot of single player action to keep you busy, and the online multiplayer is unmatched for this type of game on the PSVR. You are even rewarded for playing all the modes too, as unlockables present themselves after a match. You can customise your unit paint jobs, flag, and your avatar's hat and gloves. Final Assault has instantly become a must-own VR title for RTS fans.
That was a thing of beauty.
There isn't too many RTS games on the PSVR, but having so many features and well thought out balancing between units, like this one has instantly put it right at the top. As always, if you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.